Ladybug has had a lot of different suits throughout the show. Some of them are just minor tweaks, and some are full-on redesigns. In this video, I'm going over every single suit-up we've seen so far. Her suit-up has been combined with so many other suits that we actually have a ton to look at. I'm going to talk about what worked and what could have worked, and which ones just completely failed. Some of these suits are so incredibly well made, while others are absolutely atrocious. You're definitely going to want to stick around to the end to see what I think are the top best Ladybug designs so far. So let's break them all down one by one and see what Ladybug's fashion evolution has actually looked like. While I am looking at every design Ladybug has gone through, I am not going to include every user that has held the Ladybug Miraculous. There have been a couple of times when other characters have transformed into a Ladybug version, but I'm saving those for another video. If y'all want to see me break down those designs, let me know in the comments, since there's a lot to cover in this one. Now, let's get into it. You can probably guess what the worst design is because it's always at the bottom of everyone's list. Pegabug is the worst designed outfit that Ladybug has ever worn. It's so complicated and flashy, it's really hard to look at. All these extra details are here because it's the combination of 3 Miraculouses. Ladybug combined with the horse and bunny Miraculous in order to find a specific object in time. So since there are multiple Miraculouses being used, that means the design must also reflect each Miraculous. You can probably tell where each part of the costume comes from. The horseshoe and the wings come from the horse Miraculous. The blue color and pockets along with the white ball come from the bunny. And obviously the red and spots come from Ladybug. I'm not exactly positive who these shoulder poof pads are supposed to be from. My best interpretation is a combination of the bunny and horse. Some equestrian horse riders would wear shoulder pads, and maybe the bunny is supposed to make them fluffier like a rabbit tail. That's my guess. The best way to fix this design is by removing a lot of its details. We don't need to include every detail of each separate design, just enough where they are equally represented. The most prevalent Miraculouses represented here are Ladybugs and Pegasuses. The bunny is hardly seen here, and I think that needs to change. Since Ladybug spots are all over this design, getting rid of the red or at least reducing it in exchange for more blues is a good start. I prefer Bunnix's torso design over the one we have now, so I'd swap that out too. I do think her hair is really pretty. They turned her bunny ears into wing ears, which is a fun mix of the two. It was also smart to give her 2 long ponytails instead of just one, because these can also double like floppy rabbit ears. I think her hair should extend much longer. It should extend past her thighs to look more like a horse mane and tail. The main issue is just all the smaller accessories that are overcomplicating the suit. The shoulder pads need to shrink, and let's remove the horseshoe on her chest. I'm fine keeping the wings on her heels, since the show insists on making the horse a Pegasus design. These glasses are also outdated. Now Pegasus glasses transform into goggles, which is way cooler and more fitting. So let's give Pegabug the same kind of eyewear. I'm thinking they should be blue and futuristic, but if we want to bring back some of Ladybug's red, this might also be a good spot to do it. All in all, I do not think this design would fly in the new season. I think the changes we made here would definitely be some improvement. Since Pegabug's original design is just so bad, I have to put it at the bottom of this list. This is one of the only times we've seen the combination of 3 Miraculouses, so all the other outfits will never be as complex as this. The second worst design has got to be Ladyfly's outfit from the Paris special. This outfit is the combination of Ladybug and the Butterfly Miraculous. They had this theme going with some of their combinated suits where they looked like they were just 2 different designs smashed together instead of making a design that looked good with both sides' elements. It's pretty easy to tell which elements came from which Miraculous again. Obviously, the purple suit aesthetic is Hawkmoth's look, and Ladybug's is the red and polka dots. I think it is a little lazy that they just reuse the designs of original holders. Just because Hawkmoth is shown wearing a suit when he is transformed, this shouldn't mean that Marinette is going to receive the same look. A suit matches Gabriel Agrest's character, so it's only fitting that he receives a suit tailored to his look with the color design of the butterfly. They didn't go all the way with this though. If this was really a complete combination, Ladybug should have some sort of silver hood like Hawkmoth's, though that would look pretty weird. If they wanted to keep the suit theme, they should have at least given her a full-on suit, but with her Ladybug polka dots on them. Instead, they kept her tight bodysuit and gave her just the shoulder pads. It looks really silly. There are a couple things I like about this design. I like the purple gloss that is layered over all the red. This is a cool detail we don't get to see in a lot of the other suits, and I think it looks pretty. Her hair ribbons being turned into butterfly wings is also very fitting, but that's it for the positives. Everything else about this look has got to be changed. This next one is pretty basic. Ladybug illusion, or the Antibug, is next. While Pina created this illusion of Ladybug as if she had been akumatized, we also got to see Chloe as Antibug wearing the same outfit. All they did was invert the colors from red with black polka dots to black with red polka dots. Can't really blame them for this since it gets the message across that it's Ladybug but evil. It still looks pretty ugly though. It looks like someone left her costume in the oven too long and it got burnt. I am interested in seeing what a modern season 6 version of the suit would look like. I doubt they simply do the same inverting technique. Multibug is next up. This outfit is the result of combining the Ladybug and Mouse Miraculouses. Now, I do think there are a lot of pros to this outfit. My favorite part is definitely her hair. I think it is very cute, and honestly, perfect for Multibug to have buns since they resemble mouse ears so well. They're also able to keep Marinette's hair ribbons. The biggest issue is the color scheme. Gray being the predominant color makes it look so boring. I think it's good that they are using less red compared to the other outfits, but this much gray just ends up looking like Ladybug before she gets colored. Color is such a big part when it comes to design, and in this outfit it just feels too bland. They missed an opportunity to do more with her spots. I don't understand why the designers only focus on where to put Ladybug spots instead of considering changing their size. If the polka dots are increased to varying sizes, her Ladybug spots would look more like Swiss cheese holes. This would have made it easy to keep the difficult to use spots, all while keeping the design mouse themed. There are a lot of extra Miraculouses shown in her design, even though they are not being used. So I won't critique those details since they aren't technically part of Multibug's suit. When Cat Noir and Ladybug are hit with the power of jubilation, we see a dream sequence of them getting married. I think it's funny to think that they'd get married in their superhero suits, but they definitely look the part. Personally, I think Ladybug's wedding design is really pretty. The white and red look really good together, and they balance the color scheme perfectly. She has white bows in place of her red ribbons, and now she has flowers in her hair like the one she's holding. I like how the flowers are also red and white roses, so they are also on theme. They could have gone the easy route and just made her suit all white like they did with Cat Noir, but they didn't. Even though we barely see this design, it's still nice knowing they put some effort into its look. That being said, it's still not perfect. At the end of the day, it's basically a recolor of Ladybug's original suit, just made to look more wedding appropriate. Marinette is a fashion designer. If she's getting married, there's no way she's settling for this. She needs to have at least some form of a dress. I'd imagine something big and poofy or something that we've seen in her sketchbook. Of course, it would still keep a similar color scheme with the reds, since this is still Ladybug's after all. Since her current wedding design looks nothing like something actually seen in a wedding, I just can't say it's very good. I personally really like this next one, mostly because my favorite color is yellow. Chronobug appears in the London special when Ladybug assists Bunnix with a time problem. Her flashy outfit is worn because Marinette is wearing a yellow safety vest to make it easier to keep track of which Ladybug is the one from our timeline. It definitely works because there is no mistaking this Ladybug for the red one. I like this design, especially because there are actual yellow ladybugs in the real world. They are known as Asian lady beetles or a 22-spot ladybird, depending on the species. The normal dots have been replaced with shiny reflective spots, like on the vest. I like the placement of her black area too. One more feature I haven't mentioned is that Chronobug is able to glow in the dark. She looks almost bioluminescent. The glow in the dark feature is definitely going to add some points. While I think this suit is a real eye catcher, it is a bit too much on the flashy side, especially because Ladybug is sneaking around most of the time. No wonder they had so much trouble catching Time Stalker. They could have seen her from a mile away. Honestly, I do really hope they bring this suit back somehow, especially with a new Season 6 design. This next one probably shouldn't count as a suit, but it is a type of design, so I'm gonna include it. The chibi version of Ladybug is undoubtedly cute, but the suit is a bit off. If you felt the spots on regular Ladybug were a lot, the chibi version is a whole lot worse. I mean, it's understandable since this version is supposed to be low budget. I can't hate on it too much because it's mostly designed poorly because of Ladybug's original style. With no shadows or highlights making it easier to discern limbs from body parts, the chibi version just feels a bit off. When Tiki eats the ice power-up, Ladybug is able to turn into Icebug. This suit is designed to make it easier for her to traverse on ice. I have so many issues with this suit. It annoys me so much. First off, it's clear this suit's only purpose was to sell more toys. Second, this power-up in and of itself is so lame. An entire winter-themed power-up, but it only lets you move faster on ice? Being stuck wearing ice skates makes it practically impossible to move on regular ground now. Honestly, how many situations are you going to be needing just ice skates? If it's winter themed, it should also be adjustable for snowy terrain, since that is much more likely to be an issue. Even if Ladybug was always battling in the ice, it's still just poorly designed. Again, it's basically the regular Ladybug outfit, but with a couple extra details. They gave her some fur poofs on her arms, legs, and neck. Her spots are now hexagons to match the snowflake-like pattern shown throughout her suit. She has ice skates on, but there isn't anything special about them. There are also these ice shards on her hips that look pretty cool. I wish they'd use those more. I don't know what this thing on her front is. It looks like a button with her logo on it. The biggest missed opportunity was with her hair. Yeah, they gave her an ice tiara, but I think they could have done so much more. She's supposed to be ice themed, not ice skater themed. So let's make her hair white and frosty. Leaning more into ice shapes and colors would be so cool. It honestly feels like they just got lazy. They wanted to keep Icebug's design as similar to Ladybug's design as they could, so that kids would see her and recognize who she was. It makes sense, but I'm still disappointed. I'm on the fence when it comes to Pegabug's design. Pegabug is a combination of Ladybug and Pegasus, and it's only one bunny Miraculous away from the atrocity we saw with Pennybug. However, since Pegabug lacks the addition of the bunny, details are a lot less complicated. There's a clear division between the horse section in the middle and Ladybug's spots on the sides. This gradient is also really nice. I wish they were able to keep it going more with her arms as well. Her hair also has this white gradient. It was smart giving her a ponytail, but it should be way longer. It's the main feature that gives off horse vibes, but it doesn't stand out unless it reaches further down, like a horse's tail. They included the wings again on her hair and feet. The ones on her hair are a cute addition. I don't like her arm design. It doesn't give off horse or ladybug. Normally, I'd complain about the sunglasses again because they always just look so silly, but Pegabug low-key looks kinda cool with them on, and especially when she's holding a cup of coffee. She kinda gives off Men in Black vibes. She has a horseshoe on her chest, and her shoes look like horseshoes too. Overall, the suit is right in the middle when it comes to good and bad designing. I think there are plenty of good things about it, but for some reason, it just doesn't look right. Next up is the classic version of Ladybug. This is the Ladybug that started us off in the beginning, and is a staple of the show. Although this design has its flaws, it's still just as iconic. When I think Miraculous Ladybug, this is the design that comes to mind. It's not perfect though. It's basically just a red skin tight suit with black dots on it. It definitely stands out as being unique, but it also gets hard to look at sometimes with all the polka dots. She has her hair ribbons that stick out pretty far. The OG design did not have a lot of texture to it. It was really shiny, unlike its movie counterpart. In the Miraculous movie, they upgraded her design just a bit. They didn't change much as she still has the same reds and blacks, but there is a faint feel of texture layered throughout the suit. It is also a lot less glossy. This is also where Cat Noir says she looks like a watermelon, and now I just can't unsee it. At some point, the red with black spots stops looking like Ladybug and starts just being red with black circles. Still, it's the design that got the show going and will always have a place in our hearts. Season 5 gave us a small upgrade to Ladybug's original suit. Now, whenever Ladybug would use her lucky charm, her design would change to indicate that her lucky object was currently in play. After using her Miraculous, her suit would revert back to normal. This was a genius way to help the viewers keep track of what was happening and made Ladybug look a bit cooler in the process. As I mentioned before, the biggest problem with Ladybug's original design was the amount of black spots in just a sea of red. It was just too much. Her lucky charm look, however, gives us a black section that separates the reds right in the middle and alters some of the spots. This breaks up the look and makes it so much more appealing to look at. She also gets more ribbons and they look a little longer too. Her hands are also blacked and they included a zipper to make it look more realistic. This design just looks so much better. They really should have just made this her normal look during season 5. We talked about the Chibi Ladybug, so of course I had to include her anime style. For those who don't know, Miraculous was originally planned to be an anime, but they chose to go with 3D since it was growing in popularity at the time. We get to see some clips of what Ladybug was originally intended to look like, and these demonstrations are nothing short of stunning. She's wearing her OG suit from season 1, but it is drawn so artistically here, it looks so much better. The best part has got to be her hair ribbons. They are way longer here than in the show, and this really could have been pulled off in the anime style. They give off an impressive flow and motion that the 3D models just lack. Still, the suits are just red with black spots, so there's no way it's making it to the top of the list, but I do really like it. Now we're starting to get into the better of the designs. I'm surprised Aquabug looks so good for when she came out. Season 2 was not the best time period for new designs, but somehow this benefited Aquabug because she looks pretty good. It's probably because Ladybug's repetitive spot design translates well into a fish. But I'm not complaining. When Tiki powers up into a water theme, Ladybug turns into Aquabug and gains the ability to breathe and move quickly underwater. I am so glad they did not give her a mermaid tail. This is a major trend with little girl cartoons where they have their characters just turn into mermaids so they can sell more toys. Although this design looks similar to a basic mermaid, her legs are kept separate so she can still move freely on land. Aquabug has these flippers on her feet that help her move faster underwater. She also has fins on her arms and her ribbons are more flowy. Like the ice power-up, she has a similar belt with her Ladybug logo on it. But for once, the best part of her look is her spots. They patterned her suit to look like fish scales, but colored some black to look like her spots instead of just littering her body. This detail is so cool and it gets extra points as smart designing. I think the color design also works well here. There are purples added to the ocean bits to let you know what is meant for underwater and what isn't. They also blend well with her reds. Honestly, she kind of looks like a bath toy here. There is probably more they could have done to improve this look. Giving her webbed fingers and more fish characteristics would be a good start, but it looks pretty good for how it looks now. The last power-up we've seen so far in the show is Ladybug's spacesuit, and it is definitely the best power-up design. When Tiki turns space-themed, Ladybug transforms into Cosmobug, and is now able to fly at incredible speeds, and even in space. Cosmobug's colors are so pretty. Lightening up her reds to a brighter pink was also a really good call, and they finally changed her hair color to be a lighter blue. Her suit design is basically a recoloring with extra features, but it looks different enough for me to let it slide. Her black spots are now white, and she has star patterns sprinkled throughout her pink. On her back are her wings that let her fly. The wings look perfect. They resemble real-life ladybug wings, but are designed to look more solar and space themed. Her helmet also comes with cheek plates to protect her head. I think they could have done a bit more with the mask, but they probably wanted to keep her face visible. She does have an option to cover her mouth for extra protection, usually when she's traveling at faster speeds. This look feels more realistic and is used to show how fast Cosmobug is currently traveling. The only big change that I'd make is adding some type of rocket boosters to the back or her feet. I get that it's magic that lets them fly, but adding some explanation as to how would be nice, and add a couple more details that would still improve the look overall. We get to see a new variant of Ladybug style in the Paris special, after Shadybug's mindset shifts. Her suit is like the original Ladybug's, but with a few key differences. She has black legs that trace up her hips, outlining her waist. Within this black area, the spots are red instead of black. She has a little Ladybug logo under her chin, and her hair has this nice red highlight on her bangs. I really like this look for Ladybug. It really shows just how a few extra details can greatly improve an already interesting design. I am genuinely on the fence when it comes to Ladybiquity. Ladybiquity arises when Butterfly akumatizes Ladybug and gives her the power of ubiquity. With this power, she has the ability to travel to multiple universes and chase down Hawkmoth. Her design shares a ton of similarities to Cosmobug. The starry pinks and white spots are presented here, but instead she has long purple hair. This is one of the longest we've ever gotten to see Ladybug's hair, and I think it looks amazing. Her headphones are designed as a purple Ladybug logo, and her mask is missing the spots she usually has. Something interesting about Ladybiquity is that they actually changed the size of some of her spots. The ones on her chest and legs are varying in sizes. They are also connected by thin white lines, symbolizing Ladybiquity's connection to other universes. She also has this galaxy cape thing that flows in the wind. It looks very thin though. We actually get to see a couple variants of this suit when Ladybiquity travels to other universes. We see an anime version of this exact suit. Her hair looks even more amazing here. We see an all purple style that looks as if Ladybug had access to just the Butterfly Miraculous instead of Ladybug. Lastly, they show us a version where Ladybug is using the Cat Miraculous instead. So I guess that'd make her Catbiquity. The greens and purples go really well together here. She almost looks like a supervillain, which looks nice for making her more menacing. Since Cat doesn't have spots, the only ones here are the different sized ones, making the rest of her suit very clean. The tail is what ruins this one for me. It looks like a long purple rat tail. Out of all of these variants, I'd have to say the anime version looks the best. Her hair and cape just have so much more dynamic movement compared to the others. Ladybiquity looks so amazing here. We don't get to see much of Ladybiquity since she's only really used to deter Hawkmoth from traveling the multiverse. However, with the new Miraculous anime coming out, there's a chance we might get to see her again if our characters hop back into the anime version of their world. Season 6 introduced a brand new take on the classic Ladybug hero design. I'm so glad they made the changes they did because this suit is so amazing. Especially with the new graphics, this suit just stands out from the rest. Ladybug spots are mainly seen on her legs as the amount of red has been reduced significantly. The way it fits her, it looks more like an actual suit. That and the depth of each of the spots. Her hair also has a red gradient to it. She looks way more like a Ladybug themed hero than a red polka dotted one. The designers really did good with this. When Ladybug merges with the Bee Miraculous, she's turned into Lady Bee. This is one of the more interesting suits as yellow and red shouldn't normally go together. Well, without looking like mustard and ketchup. However, this design is able to avoid that issue incredibly well and strives at looking almost royal, matching the Queen Bee energy. There is so much to tackle with this one, I'm not even sure where to start. Let's look at her hair first, since that seems to be the most interesting piece. Lady Bee has it pulled back to a thick, high-raised ponytail to make it look like a bee's stinger. Some of her hair is highlighted yellow and red, giving it a striped look. I wish they had colored her hair more because this stripe feels like it's only scratching the surface of what it could have been. Her ribbons are present, but are now yellow and stick out the top like a bee's antennas. Her mask is new, but I don't think I like it. It's got a lot going on, and it overcomplicates her face. Yellow, black, and red stripes with a dot in the middle? Pick one or the other, either dots or stripes. The rest of her dots look amazing. They have this nice gold outline to them and they appear to be less organized than before. The gold and black are probably my favorite parts. Since a bee has stripes, they made sure to add some to Lady Bee on her thighs and arms. I do really wish they had added more throughout the outfit because the way the black area holding the stripes is, looks like she's got a pair of tiger pants on. Then again, we wouldn't want to overcomplicate the suit like they did with the mask, so maybe this was the best option. Starting off our top 5 is Cosmobug Noir. This is another suit we don't get to see much of in the show because it only appears in the London special for a brief period. Here, Ladybug merges with the cat Miraculous and powers up in space form. Don't get me wrong, I don't think there is anything wrong with this design. It's one of the best we've seen in the series. Just compared to the others, it's the most overcomplicated, which makes sense with it being a power-up version of 2 Miraculouses. The space look from Cosmobug is easily seen here, but she's a lot less pink as a result of the cat's dark color scheme. This makes Cosmobug Noir appear more red instead of the pink from before. Now, mixed with the Ladybug's red is Cat Noir's green. This combination works incredibly well together. I love the new wings too. Lime green works great for this one. I don't want to talk about Cosmobug Noir too much because then it'll take away some of the focus from the next in line, which is Bug Noir. Bug Noir is simply the combination of the Ladybug and Cat Miraculouses. Marinette combined these two at the end of season 5 and during the London special. It's pretty much the same as Cosmobug Noir, but minus the wings and helmet. I love the balance with the greens and reds. It feels more on the Ladybug side when it comes to color, but the cat theme comes back in the details like her cat ears and long hair. Forget what I said about Ladybiquity's hair. Bug Noir's hair is way longer. It's braided and still reaches the ground. She has multiple braids, meaning she's got a ton of hair, increasing the depth of her overall design. This makes her look way less basic and flat. I hate how they didn't change her hair color here. They did darken it in the Cosmo version, but it should have been the same here to match with Cat Noir's blacks. I still love her hair. I just wish it was darker. A hue they did alter was her eyes. Cat Noir's eyes are green, so it only made sense for Bug Noir's to be the same. Notice, however, she does not have a green tint. There are more details in her eyes that the designers didn't need to include, but I'm so glad they did. Bug Noir's iris is shaped like the Ladybug logo. She has ladybug spots in her eyes, and again, it looks so amazing. Her yo-yo is also turned to green and black, so we get another green Ladybug theme. This suit is definitely one of my favorites just because of how cool it looks. The designers must have known how crucial it was for Bug Noir to look good because they did not skip out on any details. I really hope her appearance wasn't a one-time thing because I really want to see this suit come back. Don't think we're done with the Cosmobug variants yet. There is one more we have yet to cover. And it starts off our final big 3 of the best Ladybug outfits. With Ladybug's new design in season 6, we also got a fresh new Cosmobug suit. She looks newly designed, so I just had to include her. Now they use their power-ups way more frequently because they just suited up literally just to get to the Eiffel Tower faster because of Climatic Queen. It's a pretty brief moment, but it showcases the new design perfectly. You can tell they made this Cosmobug design the same way they designed the original. At face value, it's the same Ladybug outfit, but with a lighter shade of red. The spots are turned white and her hair is a shiny light blue. Some key differences, however, are the wings and mask. They were able to make her wings look even more like Ladybug's wings in real life. They are also noticeably less transparent, but still give off a solar panel techie vibe without it being distracting. Her chin guard also includes more spots, but her normal mask is now a lightly tinted blue instead of the clear one from before. Her new face cover looks way better. Besides her gloves having some black print on them, the only new detail I noticed was the removal of the starry pattern that the original Cosmobug has. This was my favorite part of the old design, so I'm upset that they removed it. The new Cosmobug is designed to be more armored and practical than pretty and magical, so a galaxy print would ruin what they're going for. This Cosmobug version is incredibly sleek and new, and I just know this is not the last we'll see of her either. Coming up in the number 2 spot for best Ladybug design is Dragonbug. This suit is the combination of Ladybug and, you guessed it, the Dragon Miraculous. Both of these designs heavily use the color red, so they already go well together. The main color that the dragon introduces is yellow. We see a lot of inspiration from Ladybee here because of this. Once again, her spots are outlined in gold, and we get a better stripe pattern here with the dragon than with the bee themed suit. Even the stripes have some gold in them. Ladybee walked so that Dragonbug could run. Her mask is so incredibly good too. They extended the bottom half to these sharp points to look like dragon fangs and colored them yellow and black while keeping Ladybug's red for the top portion. This is probably the best mask in the entire show if you ask me. Ryuko's dragon horns are here too, but are lowered a little bit and put just above her ears. They also have that same red, gold, and black pattern along with Ladybug's hair ribbons in the back. The dragon is designed to be more like yin yang, but this suit is able to capture both so incredibly well, on top of including Ladybug's features. So it's almost like the combination of 3 looks really. Dragonbug also has her sword, but that doesn't really change much with each user. It does make her look incredibly tough though. Now, the moment you've all been waiting for, the number 1 all-time best Ladybug suit-up design in the entire show so far is Shadybug. I know a lot of you are probably disagreeing with me right now, but let me explain. Shadybug is Ladybug from an alternate reality where she's actually the villain. In this reality, Marinette is gothish and wears darker clothes to reflect her personality. Shadybug is a perfect design of all of that combined, with the best design we've seen for Ladybug. Her pattern removes the overstimulating red and black dots that the original had by coloring her arms arms and legs black, separating her colors perfectly. The blacks even come up a bit to intersect midway with her torso, preventing it from just being a pattern of black and red sections. She has heels on her feet, giving her some height and making her look a bit more powerful. But let's talk about her hair. This is by far the best hairstyle Ladybug has ever had. This is a very similar look to Multibug, but here it's used to its full potential. She has hot red streaks in her hair, with some coming out to resemble her hair ribbons. The bangs falling over her mask looks so good since the red matches her suit so well, making her look that much more intimidating. And that's the biggest fix that this design introduced: the recoloring of major pieces of her suit. In just about every suit we've talked about, Ladybug's hair has remained consistent throughout the majority of them. They refused to change Marinette's blue hair, and it greatly ruined a lot of potential for these past designs. But the color alteration doesn't stop at the hair. We see even more color shift in Shadybug's design. They lightened her skin tone and darkened her lips. Her eyes are now bright red, mimicking Cat Noir's eye style. These color shifts are small, but it's not like we lost who the user is here. We can still tell it's Marinette, just in a different style. We shouldn't have to sacrifice incredible design choices for the sake of remaining consistent, and that's exactly what Shadybug is able to overcome. She looks incredible, but not just because her color palette is consistent, but because the designers made a choice to break the norms that restricted them in past creations. Look at outfits like Icebug or Multibug or Ladyfly or any of the designs really. Designers shouldn't be restricted to consistency if all it does is ruin a suit's potential. Shadybug breaks free from that mold and dares to be bold, different, and visually striking while still being undeniably Ladybug. She proves that you can reinvent a character's look without losing their identity. And in my opinion, that's why Shadybug isn't just a great suit-up design, she's the blueprint for what a future transformation should strive to be. I hope for future looks, these designers take inspiration from their greatest success, which is undoubtedly Shadybug. And that's every Ladybug suit we've seen so far. Some were pretty amazing and some were interesting. I don't know if all of these needed to be added to the show, but whether you agree with my takes or not, you've got to admit that Ladybug has had one of the most visually creative sets of transformations in any animated show out there. She's suited up and combined with so many different Miraculouses, but we haven't even seen half of them yet. Plus, she can also merge with multiple at once, so the amount of suits we could potentially see in the future is practically infinite. Let me know which suit you think is the best down in the comments, and if you agree with my ranking. If you didn't, let me know how you'd rank them and which ones are at the top of your list as well. Also, make sure to like and subscribe for more Miraculous content.